Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I've had 2 weeks away from you due to crazy weather. 2 Thursdays ago, which would have been the Thursday before Valentine's Day, we had a severe storm come through, knocked out my electricity. So I was going, okay, what am I going to do? Can't do my live without lights, electricity, internet. So then a friend of mine said, well, you can come down to my house. I've got a generator, which I think now I've found out that wouldn't have worked anyway. But just as at the moment I decided to do that, I had stripped and was getting ready to get in the shower, and Rod comes in and says, the plumber's here to change 2 faucets, and he just turned off the water. So at that point, even though my electricity did come back on, I was too rattled to try to do it. And so I apologize for that. Then last week, as many of you know, Texas and Louisiana suffered an unusual ice storm. We don't usually get these. Sometimes we get a little bit of snow, but we got maybe 5 minutes of snow, 10 minutes of sleet, rain, and then on top of all of that, the temperature was down in the teens. We were without electricity for 3.5 days, and I did not get it until about, maybe 1 o'clock on Thursday. So, but we are here safe and sound. The weather is back like it should be. I'm wearing capris today, so the weather's warmed up, and I'm just delighted to be here with you. So, let me show you what we're going to be working on today. For those of you that are pet lovers, I've got a wonderful stamp set that comes with it, has dies to go with it, and I'm going to flip you down and make sure that you can see. Oops, and I need to turn that off, and I want to hold on 1 second. I decided to try turning off my overhead light and see if it would help with the glare. I've been meaning to do that and keep forgetting. Okay, let me go, and if I can remember how to do all this. And let me see if you're seeing what you're supposed to be seeing. Okay. I've got several cards that I made up with this set. Oh good, everything is straight, and it is the way you're supposed to see it. The set I'm going to be using today is called Pampered Pets, and it has both cat and dog, and it can be used as a sympathy card. You know, we have gotten to where, I guess we kind of always treated our pets as part of our family, but I think in the last decade or so we've gotten really cuckoo crazy over it, and all these people that I used to talk about with their dogs and how they had to pamper them, they had to run home and take them out and this, that, and the other. Well, guess what? I've turned into one of those people, and just crazy in love with my little Frenchie. So, Pampered Pets, it comes with 5 dies. We're going to be using one of these. Let's see. This die will go with the little cat laying around. This one, she's all curled up. Isn't that cute? There is a backwards dog, so you can see. Oops. Wait. Sorry. It goes like that. So you can see the back side of it. And then I'm going to show you this one in a minute because that's the one we're going to be doing. So let me get this out of the way and show you my samples. The reason I don't have this set, but I borrowed it from Paula, and it has adorable DSP that goes with it that you'll see samples of. But my little Frenchie, Ziggy, had gone to obedience school. And this gal, I talked to you about her one other time, Denise Landon, she is a dog whisperer. I mean, it was amazing to see. Now, Ziggy had a little bit of training, so she was remembering some of the stuff. But these puppies that were in there that had no training and wouldn't do anything right in the beginning passed the course. So I think she is just amazing. But anyway, I wanted to send her a card. And you can see the DSP with the little fibers and hairs we're having to vacuum all the time. The DSP has hearts and puppy paws. And this is called a gatefold card. And it opens and closes like a gate. I did another one for you before that was a little bit different. But what I did, and I saw this, and I'm sorry I cannot give a shout out to the demonstrator that I got the idea from, but she had done some really cute cards. She's on YouTube. And what I did was, I wanted Denise to have a picture of Ziggy. So I cut that out with a circle die, and then on the inside, I put thank you with hearts and a dog bowl. On this side, I'm gonna write my message to her. So I did a couple of samples so that you could see what we're doing. And I just changed up the shape and the placement of the ribbon. Again, I used this, well, it is a little bit different. It has dog bones and the dog bowl. And I used a triangle because I think this is a schnauzer. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But he looks kind of like a little triangle, so I used the triangular shape there. And I stamped him in black, used my blends to color him in, and then on this one, I did put some tape over the words because the whole sentiment says, always in your heart, so sorry for your loss. And I just wanted to put so sorry for your loss. So I masked the words so that I would only get the ones that I wanted. You can also do this with one of your markers, and be sure to huff on it before you put the ink to paper so that it's moist. And then on this one, I just used the ribbon and tied a knot. Now, can't leave the kitty cat lovers out. And this paper has not only the gray and the black, real red and flirty flamingo. And you can see her nose and ears have the flirty flamingo, so I wanted to pull that out with my ribbon. This time, I attached it around my DSP and popped it up so that it stood out just a little bit. And then this one says, always in your heart, so sorry for your loss. I wasn't sure that my oval was going to be large enough for that, but it just barely fit, so that was good. Okay, so let's get to the card we're going to do now. I'm starting off with basic gray, 11 by 4 1/4. For the panel on the front, the real red is 2 1/2 by 4. That'll go there. And then the DSP is going sideways this time. So I'm going to turn it so that I'll show you when I fold it over. I'm not going to do it left to right. I'm going to do it top to bottom. So this is 2 by 3 1/2 inches. Then the inside is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I didn't cut this out because sometimes Stampin' Up's DSP matches with the dies. And there are a couple of images that work with the dies, and the little schnauzer is one of them. So you saw what it looked like when I did it myself, stamped it and colored it. So we'll see what it looks like when I cut it out. Then you're going to need scraps. I did not cut these down. I just grabbed some scraps. You're going to need white, red, and two triangles. And I'm going to use squares this time instead of triangles. So we'll put that over there. First thing you need to do is score your cardstock. So you're 11 and a half, and you want to be sure that you get your scoring blade and not your cutting blade. And I am going to go, it would help to have a little more light here. So I'm kind of blind at this, but we'll see. I'm about to grab the wrong one. Okay, I'll go back and forth there. And you can just barely see it. Then I'm going to score halfway between here, which is 2 3/4. So there's my 2, and there's my 3/4. Okay, now we have that scored, and I'm going to put that aside. And I'm going to take my bone folder, give my basic gray a crisp fold there, and then the one that's going to be folded back, I'm going to do the same. Okay, I think I'll go ahead and you can see the cats on this side of the paper. I'm going to go ahead and put the inside down first. There we go. Then I'm going to put my real red. Do y'all do that? It's blank on both sides, but I always turn it over. Kind of crazy, huh? Well, I hope everybody's been well out there. I'm in line for my COVID shot, so hopefully I'll have news to tell you in a week or so. Okay, there that goes. And then this does have a pattern. See how the puppy paws are upside down? So you want to be sure they're going the right way. And that's going to go right there. So see, it wouldn't have worked if I had done it sideways. I already had this piece cut, so I didn't want to cut another piece. Okay. Okay, and I already see what I did. I meant to tie my bow up here, so I'm just going to pull this up, I hope. Sometimes this doesn't work, but most of the times you can get it up. Okay, I'm using a piece of 18-inch ribbon, and I have reorganized my ribbons, so I put all my current ones together and all the ones that were retired together. Well, somehow the one, I thought I had some red, but I couldn't find it. But this is the one I should be using, and it's the Real Red, let's see, what is it called? Double stitched satin tape. And you can see it's real pretty there. But instead I used the one that came out in the Christmas catalog, the earlier one, and it is the, I have to find out which, there it is, the sheer ribbon. So I try very hard to use only current products when I'm demonstrating and when I'm doing my lives, but every now and then, if I don't have it, I'll use something that I have, because I am a believer in using what you've got, and then you have more money to spend on current items. Now, instead of doing a bow, I'm going to stick that back down. I'm going to do a square knot. So if y'all were in Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, whatever, right over left and left over right. Did I do that correctly? No, I did not. Okay. Left over right and under. And right over left. There you go. And then we'll clip those at the end. Okay, so the little ribbon's going to be on the side. So, let's take our scraps here, and the dies that I'm using for all the shapes, I have mentioned these before, but it's a wonderful group of set of dies that have different shapes, the ovals, circles, and squares. So I'm going to be using the square, and I'm going to put you up a little bit so you can see what I am doing a little bit better. Now, I'm going to cut, and I am using the largest and the next largest square from the set. So I'm going to need 2 of the gray ones, and 1 each red and white. So I'm going to see if I can put that right there and do them both at the same time. And I'm trying to save as much of my paper as I can. I don't like to be wasteful. You never know when those little scraps will come in handy. And we're gonna push that through. So there's one of our gray squares and the white square. Next, and I'll use the other end of this, so I'm gonna have to cut it. And I'm gonna do the small red square and the large gray one. Okay, I can get that out of the way. I'm going to put my dies back on my magnetic sheet so I don't lose them. And now we're going to, while I've got this out, we're going to go ahead and cut our little puppy out. Now on those others I didn't need a little piece of tape to hold it in place, but in this one I want it to be as close to exact as possible. And y'all bear with me, I'm working in the dark. I'm gonna see how this works. Okay. Put another little piece too. Okay. I think that might work. Okay, doke, here we go. This set had all the paper for every dog except a Frenchie. They even have, look at this cute little dogs, and I had one when I was a child, and that's what I always thought I would get until Ziggy landed in our lap. So, and I guess y'all have heard that story that she was my son and daughter-in-law's dog, and they're doing so much traveling that they just didn't have the time that she needed. Okay, now let's start putting this all together. Instead of it being a square, let's think outside the box and let it be a triangle. So this and this are going to go, and then our little dog will go there. I'm going to turn a lamp around and see if that'll, let there be light. Now, I hope that didn't messing things up. I'll look at the replay and see how I did. Okay, and I'm about to put it upside down. Remember I said this one was going to go top to bottom. So and before I do anything else, I want to go ahead and glue these two together. Oops. So that it won't come open. Okay, we're going to put our that's going to go there, and I'm going to put this on top of that square first because I want to show you a little trick. Okay. Now, when you go to put your little square or diamond shape down, remember you don't want to put glue on the back of this or it won't open. So I'm only going to be doing it on half of it. And so I don't have to think about it. I'm going to do it before I put the dog on. So I'm just going to take our Tombow liquid glue. And another thing about this is that if you're trying to place something perfectly, sometimes it will allow you a little bit of play. And I'll show you what I mean when I do the other one. Okay, so I'm going to put this right about there. See how I'm moving it down a little bit? I want it to be right on the edge of that. Now, for our little puppy, I'm going to put some dimensionals on him. This is the edge that I've cut so that I can use every bit. And I'm going to use 3 on him. And put him right in the middle. Now, on this side, what I'm going to do is take my my square, and then I'm going to take my pencil, if I can find where I put it. Here it is. And I'm just going to get my left hand out of the way. I'm just going to trace that point, or just enough so I know where to put this down. And again, I told you that when you got a dimensional stuck to my finger, let go. Okay. And be sure to get there's not a lot of difference that you can see, but you can feel the difference on the stitched. So this is the rough side. That's the side that is going to go down and be glued. Now, you see that little triangle that I did right there? That's where I'm going to put this. And before I mash it down, I'm going to make sure it matches. Okay, we did a good job. There we go. And I had gone ahead and cut this. Usually I do my stamping first, but on this one I didn't. And I'm using a photopolymer stamp that is from the set Sweet Ice Cream. This is in the January-June mini catalog, and I liked the thank you there. And that was the one I made for the Dog Whisperer, so I'm just going to make a second one. Oops. And it's going to be triangle, so I'm going to go from point to point. Beautiful. And they've got these cute little hearts and a dog bowl. Let's see, I want it to be right side up. It has a paw on it so you can see. And here's some little hearts. There we go. So now that's ready to go on the inside. Now remember, you want to put it so that it looks right when you open the card. So it's going to go this way. Oops. Move that over a bit. Okay, so there's your thank you. And I think I'm going to move this ribbon down just a little bit. It's kind of interfering there. I should have done it sideways here, but I didn't think about that. Okay, let's see if I can do this again. Left over right and right over left. I almost always do a bow, but I didn't this time. And I got that one a little bit too tight, but anyway, you get the idea. Snip off the ends. And there you have it. So here's your little gatefold card. How did that dimensional get on there? I don't know. They're everywhere. And it opens up, says thank you. And then this spot over here, you can put a piece of white there. And I forgot to cut that. So just pretend that dimensional is following me everywhere. Just pretend that I put a piece of white here, and that's where you would write your message. And then they would have a cute little card to say thank you. So I hope you've liked this. It's a great set for animal lovers. And there's even a little paper, one of the papers has a little fish on it. I'm sure it's for the cats to eat, but you might could use that if people have goldfish, I don't know. And before I close, I just want to say that I had this beautiful card made up for you to do for Valentine's. And then the storm hit. But I just wanted to show this to you. It might be an idea for next year since Valentine has come and gone. But I used a folder, embossing folder, that had words on it for the background. But what I wanted to point out was, and this was something I had never tried, I can't remember now where did I put my, here it is. This paper, or it's not really paper, it is called the hydrangea, nope, that's the designer. Okay, the Mercury Glass Designer Acetate. And as you can see, it's colored on one side and silver on the other. I had never tried cutting this out with a fancy thing. I messed this one up because I didn't put tape down. But anyway, I wanted you to see how nicely that cut. And I also had some hearts. That was a little string of hearts. And they've disappeared. But they were little tiny and they didn't come out quite as well. But if you're cutting something larger, I think the acetate works great for that. And it even made it feel like, almost like a little pie tin with the edges up. So I wanted to share that with you. So keep that in your bonnet for next Valentine's Day. Just a last minute reminder that this is February the 25th. Celebration ends on February the 28th. So get your orders in. Remember, for anything you order, $50. For every $50, you get to pick something out of this catalog for free. And it can be out of the annual catalog or out of the January-June catalog. So with that said, I'm going to come back this way and tell you goodbye. And again, thank you for joining. See you next week, rain or shine. I hope that we're not going to have any more excuses for not being live. So if you have questions, please email me. You can go to Stampin' at the Bird Nest, and it's Stampin', just like Stampin' Up, no G. Stampin'atthebirdnest.com. There I have my gallery, and you can shop there, you can join there, you can do everything. The gallery has all of my cards that I've made with the instructions and the supplies. And when I get through with this, I will be putting it on YouTube, and the list of supplies will be there too. So let me know if you have questions, comments, and y'all take care. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next Thursday. Mwah! Bye. Love you.